Somewhere a man was tied up, captured by some unknown group. He was just about to enter to his favorite bar, but after that he can't remember anything. How he ended up, he doesn't know yet. Once he regained his senses, all he sees blurry atmosphere filled with a smell of blood. Judging the atmosphere, he tries to question them, but in return he got some answers, as their bodies racked with pain as their captors subjected them to relentless beatings. What have we done to deserve this? But silence was the only response they received. Amid the relentless torment, footsteps echoed ominously on the creaking stairs. The assailants paused and huddled by the door, anticipating heavy in the air. A man in his mid-20s entered the room, accompanied by an aura of darkness that seemed to extend beyond the physical. Something about him was profoundly unsettling, a deep enigma that defied comprehension. The captives stared at him, their eyes filled with terror, unable to find words. The man, his voice cold and unforgiving, broke the silence. "You asked what you did, correct?" He observed them, not with his eyes, but as if he were piercing into their very souls. The man, "You laid hands on what is mine." With a swift kick, he sent one of the men toppling from his chair. He grabbed the fallen man by his collar, his eyes boring into him like a predator closing in on its prey. The man, "How dare you touch her?" The captive stammered in fear, his words barely coherent. "What are you talking about? What have I done?" The man. A twisted maniacal laugh escaped his lips, sending shivers down the spines of all who heard it. In the basement, a haunting silence descended, broken only by the chilling cadence of his voice. His own men knew the depths of his malevolence. They understood that they were in the presence of a demon. The man, "The girl you defiled is my love." The revelation hung in the air like a death sentence. The captive's face contorted in disbelief. "Sophia? She's just a poor girl, a slut like—" Before he could finish his sentence, a brutal punch landed square on his face. The man, "How dare you speak of her in such a way?" He continued to pummel the offender mercilessly, his rage unrelenting. Then a bat appeared in his hand, and he seized the captive's trembling hand. The man, "You touched her with this hand, didn't you? I'll make certain that you never lay a hand on anything ever again." With relentless brutality, he brought the bat down upon the offender's hand, the room echoing with agonizing screams that pierced the very soul. This was the price the transgressor paid for daring to touch what belonged to the devil. "Look in my eyes. See, your death is near. I'm your God. I'm your death." He moves near his ear and says, "Your family, we already took care of them. You and your family and friends are erased from now in this world. No one ever will come to find you. No one cares if you died or vanished." With this, he moves and picks something, and says while smiling, "This is good. Want to see what I'll do with?" he asked the offender in front of him. The offender was trembling in fear, pale, turned white in fear, crying, "Leave me. Please, I'm sorry, I won't do that again. Please forgive me." He starts pleading to the demon in front of him, but the demon in front of him doesn't budge. "Isn't this too late for this?" He says, "Even if the God comes here, he also can't save you from me. So ask for forgiveness when you are up there uninvited. Let's have fun now, shall we?" With this, he takes the hand of the offender and starts pulling his nails. Screams echoes through the basement, cries, but the demon wasn't satisfied yet. After a while, he leaves, and a bodyguard helps him to wear his coat. He turns and says to his guards, "End him slowly and throw him somewhere far away from Sophia." Others nods, and he leaves with his men. The person was already unrecognizable, a bloody mess. No voice came from his mouth, as if angels of death already took his soul. His eyes says he wants to die to escape this hell, but he can't just die yet. Sophia lay on her bed, her eyes fixed on the ceiling, the weight of the day's events pressing down upon her like a heavy shroud. Depression gripped her, its tendrils slowly winding their way into her thoughts. Her grandmother entered her room quietly. Concern etched on her aged face. She gently inquired, "Are you all right, dear?" Seeking solace in her grandmother's presence, Sophia shifted, placing her head on her grandmother's lap, closing her eyes in silent surrender. She sighed softly. "I'm all right, Grandma." Grandmother's words held a world of understanding. "I won't ask you anymore if you don't want to talk about it, but I'm actually here to give you something, dear." Intrigued, Sophia sat up, her eyes fixed on her grandmother. "What is it?" Grandmother's voice was soft as she replied, "It's something your mother left for you." The mention of her mother cast a shadow over Sophia. Her mother had always been a mystery, a distant figure who had kept her at arm's length during her short life. Sophia had few memories of her, and none of them were particularly pleasant. Her mother had passed away when Sophia was just 5, leaving her with a legacy of unanswered questions. Grandmother retrieved a small box and opened it, revealing a pendant with a striking red stone. It appeared simple at first glance, but there was an undeniable air of uniqueness and antiquity about it. "Here, take this," her grandmother said gently, her eyes carrying a mixture of love and sorrow. "She gave me this when she was about to pass away. Turn around, and I'll put it on your neck." Sophia hesitated briefly, her emotions swirling, before turning around to allow her grandmother to fasten the pendant around her neck. The moment it settled, it looked stunning against her skin, a testament to the beauty that Sophia herself possessed. Her grandmother offered a tender goodnight and left the room, leaving Sophia alone with her thoughts. The pendant hung there, a symbol of a mother she had never truly known. A tear welled up in her eye, and she brushed it away with a shaky hand. Sophia knew that dwelling on the past, on the mysteries of her mother's life and her own painful memories, would only bring her more pain and misery. She sighed, willing herself to let go of the turmoil, and slowly drifted into a restless sleep, the pendant a silent guardian against the darkness of the night.